In the previous verse, the Buddha reminded us of something we often forget: that all of us are subject to aging and death. When this truth is not understood, people quarrel, compete, and cling. Now, the Buddha turns our attention inward to show how the mind becomes vulnerable when it forgets to guard itself in everyday life. This verse is not about punishment or blame. It is about understanding how weakness arises.
Subhanupassing viharantang indriyesu asangmutam bojanamhi chamatanyong kusitang hina viriyam tangve pasahatimaro vato rukkangva dubbhalam.
Living absorbed in what appears attractive, with senses left unguarded and free to roam, without moderation in eating, lazy, lacking strength of effort. Such a person is easily overpowered by Mara, as a strong wind overthrows a weak tree. The Buddha begins with a simple observation. When we constantly dwell on what is attractive, the mind leans outward. When the senses are left unrestrained, desire grows without limits. When there is no moderation in food, rest, or stimulation, energy weakens. And when effort fades, the mind becomes soft and unsteady. None of this happens suddenly. It happens gradually, unnoticed. Mara does not need to be understood as a being outside us. Here, Mara represents temptation, distraction, unwholesome habits, the forces that pull the mind away from clarity. When the mind is unguarded, these forces do not need to attack. They simply enter. Consider how the mind behaves when it is always seeking pleasure, scrolling without awareness, eating without noticing fullness, resting without refreshing the heart. At first, it feels harmless, but slowly, attention weakens. And when difficulty arises, stress, anger, disappointment, the mind has no strength to stand firm. Like a weak tree in a storm, it bends and breaks. This verse is not a warning of fear. It is a warning of cause and effect. When the mind is not protected, it becomes easy to overpower. Not because life is cruel, but because the mind has no shelter. The Buddha invites us to look gently at our own lives. Where does the mind roam without care? Where do the senses go unguarded? Where does effort quietly fade? Seeing this is not judgment. It is wisdom. In the next verse, the Buddha will show the other side of this truth. What happens when the mind is guarded? When restraint, moderation, and effort are present. That mind, he says, cannot be shaken. If this teaching was meaningful to you, you are welcome to subscribe and continue walking this path of the Dhamma together.